for me, really, I don't believe in the word opposition because at times it's not progressive. It depends on what you're opposing. You can be opposing what is wrong. But if you see what is right, why are you in opposition? You don't oppose what is right. The federal government of PDP under Jonathan was doing the right thing. So I didn't oppose them, I worked with them. Well, quite a lot. You know, for me, it was something welcoming. Being a governor, serving a state, and then the president asked you to come and be his economic movement team, and became a special advisor on finance, which for me is an experience. And I can tell you, a lot happened within that team because it's made up of ministers and people from, call it the entrepreneurs and the people from the outside government who were allowed to contribute a lot in formulation of some of the policies you're seeing today. Because if you talk about in terms of contribution or impact on the economy of Nigeria, no government has been able to do what this government has been able to do. And that was as a result of deliberations and contributions from the economic management team. We can't have a better president than President Jonathan today. One, he possesses two ingredients of leadership. One is humility. Two is ability to learn. One important aspect of leading is that you must be ready to learn every day. If you stop learning, you can no longer serve. Jonathan, I said it in Ibadan that I served under 3 presidents. The only one you can argue with is Jonathan. And that is why he signed the bill on freedom of information, which nobody did. I mean, you can go on, whether it's the newspaper and social media and everything now, and call him all sorts of names and go home and sleep. Before, if you do it, you might not sleep in your house that night. If you talk about the future, I can tell you the future is full of optimism and hope. What we're going through now is actually, let me use the depreciation of Naira to illustrate what we are going through now. We're actually going, yes, through a rough patch, but it could have been worse if not for the actions of this government in diversifying the economy. Because they were able to do that, our food import bill was reduced by 50%. And because of it today, we are facing a depreciation of only about 20%. All other oil-dependent economy are worse. Russia is about 70% depreciation. In fact, it was 14% in one day, one single day. Venezuela, you can no longer go to shop or supermarket and buy soap. You have to queue. Same thing, you can go on and on in Angola and everything. But because they were able to do quite a lot, that's why our depreciation is manageable. And you could see the oil lost almost overnight, 60%. And we're facing 20% depreciation, which in itself is not entirely bad. Because people will say, oh, depreciation, it's not entirely bad. It also helps local production because people have to look inward now. All those things we used to say, okay, let me go. I was talking to a friend yesterday. I said, listen, the shoes you think you can buy today, the good shoes or shoes you can wear today, are available in Aba. And I can tell you, whatever brand of shoe or suit you think you can get it from anywhere in the world, are available in Aba. So locally too, if you look at for example, in terms of car manufacturing, because of the policy of this government now, our car assembly plants that were collapsed have been resuscitated. Some new companies are now manufacturing cars in Nigeria. All this depreciation will help to accelerate. Well, in the last 4 years, all I can tell you that no president of this country has been able to achieve what he's been able to achieve in 4 years. And this is not just in one sector. I would say simultaneously in every sector. Where do you start? If you look at education, for example, before President Jonathan, our average pass mark in WAEC and NECO was an average of 20 to 30%. Today, we're an average of 50%. You could see the improvement. A lot of money has been invested in universal basic education. Of course, in the tertiary level, simultaneously 14 universities were established. Never had an airport been touched. People will say, oh, the renovation is not there, but that has never happened before. Today we are building 5 new terminals. I don't know any country in the world that is simultaneously building 5 new international terminals. One is going on in Lagos, in Kanu, in Abuja, in Port Harcourt, and Enugu simultaneously. The last time I saw train in this country was when I was a student in the University of Nigeria in 1983. But I had to go on a train in December from Port Harcourt to Enugu. So all this, I can go on and on in different other areas. Even what we are seeing today in social media. You know, these things were not there yesterday. They were all brought about by this government. He was the first president to say it on Facebook. Even some of us, when he went there, said, hey, wait a minute, don't go and put yourself into this type of business that you won't survive. But then, all that, other areas, where you look at today, we're talking about issue I mentioned before of assembling cars in Nigeria. Pan, the 2 assembling plants we had was Pan and Vaughan. They were collapsed. Nobody ever thought they would ever come back to life. Today, these facilities are not just working, but you now have, and so are so many other industries coming up, manufacturing and everything. Look at our economy. To just give you, in a nutshell, what between 2011 and 2013, every quoted companies, or call it 90% of the quoted companies, doubled both in value and in profit. Never had this country experienced that. That's why even when people say now, oh, we're going through a difficult part, I said, globally, economies are going difficult, whether it's in America or when people talk about depreciation of Naira, I said even Euro have lost 30% of its value to the dollar. So this is normal. His economy goes up and down. It cannot just go smooth all the way. So this government, then in terms of looking at our future, I believe that Jonathan represents the future. I said it in the bottom now, voting for Jonathan is voting for the future. We cannot afford to do otherwise. Is the Buhari, if I mention, is not a replacement for Jonathan. It's like talking about analog and digital